C'est le slang de Montréal, c'est comme ça qu'on parle. Ça varie en chaque secteur, c'est comme ça qu'on jase.
Vous savez, les bijoux, ça fait partie du starter pack d'être un rappeur. Bracelets, chaînes, pendentifs, des grills, une bague de fiançailles, peu importe le morceau que vous voulez, ils peuvent tout faire sur mesure. Chez le top bijoutier en ville, bijouterie Jamil. Allez les checker, ils ont 2 localisations. Dans le cœur du plateau et un à Rosemont. Pour le meilleur prix en ville, dites le code promo Rapolitik. N'oubliez pas de suivre leur page Instagram @JamilJewelry.
Et maintenant, vous pouvez magasiner en toute confiance sur bijamil.com. Votre rêve au bout des doigts.
Yeah, what up, une autre émission de Rapolitik. Je suis Monsieur de Montréal.
It's your boy KKI.
Shout out à High Time, connaissez les times, High Time. C'est quoi les times, High Time? For good time, checkez High Time. Vous savez déjà. New sponsor alert, message très important. Pick Win. Allez sur le lien dans la bio, dans la description en dessous. Loguez. Abonnez-vous sur PickWin. Les 25 premiers jeux sont gratuits avec le code Rapolitik. Ça va être marqué Referral Code. Referral, c'est en anglais sur Referral Code. Vous mettez Rapolitik. Vous allez avoir 25 jeux, 25 free spins gratuits. Si tu gagnes, t'encaisses l'argent. Si tu perds, mais t'as rien perdu parce que c'est gratuit. Abonnez-vous sur PickWin dès aujourd'hui. C'est très important. Nous donner de la force.
Yeah.
Allez sur PickWin.
Supportez, guys.
Supportez. Et le referral code Rapolitik, très important. Vous allez avoir 25 jeux gratuits. 25 free spins.
Bon.
Mesdames et messieurs, on a un gros guest
Une légende
aujourd'hui.
dans la place, guys.
Une légende
Bam, bam.
anglophone. T'sais, il fait partie de la première vague des rappeurs anglophones de Montréal.
Oui.
On va vous ramener dans les années 80 où que le hip-hop prenait naissance à Montréal, dans la province de Québec. C'est vraiment là qu'on va vous amener. C'est un pionnier du rap d'ici, là. Yeah. Légende. Fait que nous sommes les historiens du rap et voilà pourquoi nous le sommes. Ça, c'est un gars qui renforce notre crédibilité quand je le dis. On va faire du bruit pour Chuck Ice!
Make some noise!
In the building!
What's good, baby? What's good?
Écoute, il parle pas trop français, on va essayer. Est-ce que tu parles français?
Un peu. Un peu.
More than Ricky D.
T'es né où?
Répétez, s'il vous plaît.
T'es né où? Where are you born?
Nouvelle-Écosse, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Oh.
OK. Fait que t'es Black Canadian.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lived there till I was about 14.
OK. Ça, c'est les vrais Afro-Canadiens.
These are the real Afro-Canadians. Shout out aux Afro-Canadiens.
Yeah.
Fait que lui, c'est le vrai. Parce que si vous connaissez l'histoire de Nouvelle-Écosse, Nova Scotia, il y avait le Underground Railroad où les esclaves des États-Unis, ils s'évadaient puis ils allaient à Nova Scotia s'établir parce qu'il n'y avait pas vraiment d'esclavage là-bas à cette époque-là.
Yes,
so
sir.
your grandparents are Canadian.
That's
Black
right.
Canadian.
That's right.
Ça, c'est légendaire, ça.
My great-grandfather's from Barbados. We got some Nova Scotia. We got some Micmac Indians. So it's a...
Straight up!
Yeah,
Un Canadien.
Un vrai Canadien, man.
It's crazy.
OK.
So quand quelqu'un dit, yo, go back to your country, you're like,
Yeah,
yo, you go back to your country.
For real, though.
But I know, Halifax, on m'a dit c'est hood, là, Halifax, là.
Yeah.
Little Africa, ça s'appelle le hood là-bas, c'est pas Little Africa or something they call it?
There's Uniac Square, Africville.
Africville.
Yeah, Africville.
Yeah.
And you got North Preston, East Preston, Hammers Plains, New Road.
Okay, c'est les hoods.
Like black cities, like completely
Straight
owned,
up.
all black.
Straight up.
Yeah,
You feel like you're in the States.
all black. Basically, no white people, no white store owners, everything black.
Man, it's funny how come there's no big artists that blew up from there. Like, you know, Toronto, they have their Tory Lanez, they have their Drakes, you know?
Montreal, we have, Kitrenada.
Yeah. But Nova Scotia, especially, there's a lot of black people there.
JRDN is from down there.
Jordan.
That's the
Jordan
video,
Croucher.
Yeah, videographe, ouais.
Yeah,
No.
that's actually my cousin.
Non, c'est un artiste, Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan Croucher's from
Whoa,
down there.
okay, okay.
Classified.
Classified. He's our Canadian rapper.
But he's
for
not
real.
black. Well, I know what
But he's
not
our
black,
Canadian
but
rapper.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? He's,
But he got the flavor.
he has
you
the
know,
black juice.
He's representing the culture.
Yeah, let's put it
Voilà.
that way. Okay, so you're really from Halifax, you said?
Yes, sir. I was there till I was like 14.
So
then
born
I
and
came.
raised, so you went to school out there?
Yeah.
So you were
Yeah.
in a black city?
Yeah. No, I was actually in Halifax, which is a mix.
Okay.
But on the outskirts of Halifax, you have those 4 black cities that are strictly all black communities.
OK. Écoute, on va dire, c'est vrai quand tu rencontres des Scotians ici, que j'en ai rencontré quand même. Les femmes Scotians, like female Scotians, you'll meet some out here.
For sure.
C'est vrai, généralement, c'est des belles femmes. Mais qu'est-ce que tu as à dire?
Ils sont sous ça.
Ils sont sous ça.
Ils sont sous ça. C'est juste ça que j'ai à dire.
For sure.
Une de nos voisines était Scotian, so shout out à eux.
Yeah, they were different, but you could tell.
Solide.
Yeah, black
Beaucoup
Canadians.
d'alcool.
The vibe is American in Scotia, so
Right?
it's a little bit different.
Right.
A little bit different.
So then, you grew up eating what? Like,
Oh shit, a lot of fish.
yeah? Okay.
A lot of fish because we're right on the ocean.
Right. So seafood, okay? It's a lot
All
of food.
seafood.
Yeah.
Everything is there. Everything
C'est
is
vrai,
there.
ça,
Lobster, crab, oyster, like anything you can imagine.
Straight
seafood.
up.
Oh yeah, it's a good city for food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good city for food.
Est-ce que t'allais ficher?
Yeah.
Pêcher.
Yes,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, the black fishermen out there. Okay, c'est quand même nice.
Yeah. And one of the biggest ports in North America. The port for the ships.
Yeah.
Where they dock the
Yeah,
ships
yeah.
is massive. Like today, grow.
OK.
Yeah.
C'est quand même intéressant, ça. J'ai toujours voulu aller visiter, comme vraiment, tu sais, aller là-bas. C'est quand même nice.
Ça m'étonne de toi qui aimes voyager. Tu vas explorer la
Mais on
province.
n'explore pas vraiment le Canada. We always go to the States,
C'est
you know?
ça.
Or
Mais il y a
the
des belles
islands.
places, ouais.
Mais
Yeah.
c'est vrai qu'il faut prendre le temps d'explorer notre pays.
Halifax, ouais.
Parce que je pense que Nova Scotia, c'est quand même une place.
Historiquement aussi, c'est intéressant. d'aller.
Ouais. Parce que en histoire, when you learn history,
Yes.
you learn about black history as well?
Yeah, not down there. I learned about that when I got up here.
Okay.
Basically, right? So no, they don't want to really share all of that.
Yeah.
But the history is there. It's easy to find when you look for it.
Yeah.
And there's definitely big black roots in Nova Scotia, but there's also Caribbean people there too as well. Jamaicans, Bajans, Trinidadians came there on the ships. They were working on the ships back in the day.
Okay.
So some of them just end up staying there.
Okay.
Like my great-grandfather, he's from Barbados. He came to Nova Scotia on the ships working.
Yeah.
He met my grandmother and never went back.
He was like, yo, I'm going to stay here.
Okay.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? He never went back. So
Yeah.
the ports, the docks, they bring a lot of people in.
Parce que les Scotians, ils sont généralement light skin. Sauf qu'il y a un métissage. There was a mixing. Because when you meet black Scotians,
Yeah.
usually they're light
Ouais,
skin.
souvent.
Yeah, red bone as they call
Yeah,
it.
red bone. Fait que c'est comme, il y a un métissage. There was a mixing
Yeah, absolutely.
with...
Absolutely. Mixing of the cultures.
Yeah. But it's interesting because we don't meet too many. We haven't had. You're the first Scotian we get from in the podcast. In like 6-7 years, you might be our first Scotian.
Let's go.
Faut voir, on va calculer. Mais...
Yeah, I think so. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of any. But that's interesting. Okay. That's why I want to stick to Nova Scotia till you were 14. So you started high school there?
Yeah, I started high school there, and then in grade 8.
You played hockey?
No hockey, nothing like that.
Did you have a
Was-
sport?
Nah, I mean, so here's the thing. I played sports, but I didn't play any in like leagues or anything like that.
Organized.
Because remember with hockey,
Yeah.
back in those days, they didn't really want
Black people.
black guys in the league, right? So it was very difficult, to get even into some of the programs. And then from there, if you wanted to try to go pro, chances were very little that you'd be able to do it being black in those days. It's different now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
back then,
Just
forget about it. Forget about it.
That's crazy.
So, mais t'as vécu du racisme là-bas?
Sorry?
Racism? Did you
Oh yeah.
racism
Yeah, for sure. There's racism, but you know what? There's racism everywhere I've been. I mean, I've been all over the place, and it just comes in different shapes and forms. But it's there. Some places are worse than others, but it's
More in
definitely
your face.
Yeah. It's more in your face in some places, but there's a big divide in Nova Scotia that's different than Montreal. Like in Nova Scotia, the blacks live over here and the whites live
ouais,
over
c'est encore
here.
ségrégé.
Yeah, there's a divide.
Still today?
Oh yeah, well that's where the black cities come from. They're all outside of Halifax. So they're like a half an hour drive from Halifax to get to Hammers Plains or North Preston or whatever. So it's not actually it's not part of
So
Halifax.
quand ils disent even Halifax, they're not really from Halifax. C'est juste que they know what Halifax, but if they start naming the hoods,
That's right.
ça, on va pas les connaître.
Quelqu'un
On
va
va
dire,
être
je vais
comme...
d'Ottawa, mais c'est sûrement une affaire à côté.
Yeah, like you won't know.
Because
Okay, I
some
get
of
it.
those hoods are in Dartmouth, actually.
Oh, yeah. Ouais, je
They're in
connais,
Dartmouth across the bridge. You got to go over the bridge to get to some of those places,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, racism had its moment there. Drake did a movie on something that happened involving racism in Nova Scotia. I don't know if you guys ever heard about Cole Harbor, but that was a big racial riot, like 300-400 people fighting racially at one school, everybody fighting. This thing made front page like almost around the world, right? So Drake did a movie about that basically a couple years ago, basically. So yeah, I mean, there's still problems, but at the same time, we hope that things are getting better as, you know, we're getting more into the future. That's all I can say with that.
Okay, so but the black cities, are they hood? Are they considered the hood, or
No,
are they some,
well,
the nice cities?
no, they're nice cities because everybody that's there, they own their property. Like everybody owns everything there, right? It's not like they just rented it from a slumlord and it's run down. No, they built these homes there themselves, right? And so no, it's not the ghetto. Yeah, but there's ghetto people out there.
Yeah.
But it's not the ghetto. It's actually a pretty nice place to drive through.
J'espère que vous comprenez, parce que c'est très intéressant qu'est-ce qu'il dit là. On parle justement des villes, c'est à l'extérieur de Nova Scotia, les villes noires. Puis c'est vraiment des villes qui ont été construites, bâties par les Noirs, puis ça les appartient. C'est pas comme s'ils sont en train de louer d'un locataire. C'est pas des locataires, ça les appartient. Les restaurants, les marchés, ça les appartient. Black owned. C'est quand même intéressant de voir, il y a des villes comme ça au Canada où c'est vraiment la ville entière, c'est a black city. Fait que c'est important. C'est quand même intéressant. Me, it's very interesting what you're saying.
You gotta visit. You gotta visit and check it out for yourself.
Like you're telling me that, and I'm like, I would love to go and document this and visit and go to the restaurants.
T'arrives là-bas, Rob, yo, qu'est-ce que tu fais dans mon hood? C'est comme, yo, you lied to me.
For sure. Like in the summer, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, especially like the food, because it's the black Canadians, they still brought something from, you know, given down to them from their grandparents, like how they cook.
Ça va être quelque chose quand même manger là-bas.
Yeah, like the flavors and, you know. I would like, I'm a foodie, so you can tell,
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
All right, so you moved from there. How come you moved so young? With the family that you moved?
Yeah, the family moved when I was 14. My father loved Montreal. He had been fascinated by this city his whole entire life, right? Like the bright lights downtown.
Yeah.
Because in the 60s and 70s, Montreal was the only city in Canada
with the jazz clubs.
But with the big bright lights downtown, like you were in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? So he was drawn to the lights and the action of the city, and he worked on the railroad. So he was able to kind of get switched over. He was running back and forth from Halifax to Montreal. So we moved down here, and then he just changed the run from Montreal to Halifax. Because he always wanted us to live here. So yeah, we came out here and, you know, been out here on and off ever since.
So you're not an only child, I'm assuming?
No. I got two sisters and another brother.
Okay. Same mom, same dad?
Yeah, except for one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Straight up. So, t'étais dans quel hood ici? What hood did you move to?
I moved to OPP, which is in Ville Salle. That's right.
LaSalle, you know what I mean?
So, no, that shit was crazy because everything took place at Woolette Park. So there was all...
Woolette Park.
Yeah, Woolette Park. That's where everything... So the best ballers in the city...
Woolette Park Posse.
That's right.
Ça, c'est OPP.
Woolette Park Posse. Woolette Park Projects. It was all Woolette Park. It was all Woolette Park. The people that we hung with, the musical group, everything revolved around that park because everything happened there. Everything. Sports, music, you name it, it all took place there.
Là, tu vois, il raconte l'histoire de La Salle, là, parce que lui, c'est le OG, là, triple OG, ce gars-là. Fait que, in those days, who was rapping?
In those days, so when I first came out, it was DJ Ray with...
Shades of Culture?
No, not yet. Not yet. Shades of Culture only came later. The first rappers that I saw in 83 were DJ Ray, Shanwan, Lord Supreme, Baby Blue, Wanda,
Baby Blue.
and then
Wanda,
there was Butcher T.
Butcher T.
Yeah, he was the DJ.
Radio guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was the DJ for all of them. And then they would go on Mike Williams' show on Club 980, basically. So I remember I would listen to them. They'd be rapping on the radio. They do a lot of live freestyles and stuff on the radio. And that's one of the things that inspired me to say, I want to be on that radio show. I want to be up there. I want to be, I want to be heard there, right? So those people that I just mentioned, they were very inspirational to me. The Shades of Cultures, they came maybe 5 years later.
Okay.
Basically, so this is like 83 we're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
My first run-in with Shades is probably in like 88, 89, something like that.
Yeah, you're doing MC competitions at Thunderdome.
Yeah,
88,
that
89.
was crazy. Thunderdome was the best club the city's ever seen, ever in
For
the
real,
history.
huh?
Well, open 7 days a week.
Crazy, 7 days.
And every night had a different theme. So rap night on this night, reggae night on this night. Then they'd have their regular party nights on the Friday and Saturday. Sunday be reggae night, rap night be on Monday night, and people would come out all during the week. There was a crowd there every night,
Every day.
every night. On the weekends, the crowd was bigger, but there was still enough people there during the week to say you were at a party.
Yeah.
So we were out at that club like 4 or 5 times a week, getting it in. We were there on the weekends for sure.
Message important, nous connaissons tous quelqu'un atteint par l'anémie falciforme.
C'est une situation très, très sérieuse. Malformation des globules rouges, complications graves, crise de douleur également.
Et ça nous affecte plus que l'on pense. Une personne noire sur 10 porte le gène, mais on peut faire une différence.
On peut aider la communauté et soyons fiers de notre contribution.
Beaucoup de patients ont besoin de transfusions sanguines régulièrement.
Il faut 130 donneurs par année pour un seul patient.
Et parfois, seule une greffe de cellules souches peut leur permettre de guérir. Emma Québec est toujours là pour les aider.
Mais il faut qu'on puisse faire aussi notre part.
Si tu as entre 18 et 35 ans,
Inscris-toi au registre des donneurs de cellules souches.
un simple swab et tu peux changer un destin.
En attendant, donne du sang.
Visite emmaquebec.ca. La force, c'est nous.
I was there for rap night, every week, basically, and whatever else was popping, we were there. So yeah, Thunderdome was infamous. It was infamous till it got shut down. They shot the police shot Presley Leslie,
yeah.
basically in there.
That was the reason why they closed it?
Yeah, so a song came on that Presley really enjoyed. And back in the days, if they really messed with the song, they might lick a couple shots in the air, right? So that's what he did. But he wasn't pointing at anybody. He was just, celebrating the song. But the police happened to be coming up the stairs.
Oh.
Right? For something else. It was just,
Just a coincidence.
They weren't there for him. But as they were coming up the stairs, they heard the gunshot go off. And then they came around the corner and they saw him with the gun pointed at the ceiling, and not knowing what he was doing, they just shot him and killed him dead on the spot. And then the black community went into protest after that. And so we never went back to that club.
C'est pour ça que quand on a un gros jam, on est toujours comme gunshot, pop, pop, pop. Tu sais,
Gunshot,
on fait ça.
yeah.
Mais lui, eux autres, dans ce temps-là, ils le
Exactly.
faisaient littéralement.
Yeah,
Eux, ils avaient
on
vraiment des
did
guns
that at
sur
the
eux.
Howard
Puis eux,
show.
ils étaient vraiment en train de tirer dans les airs.
Yeah.
Tu sais. Fait que ça a mal donné, parce que la police est arrivée pendant que le gars tirait dans les airs, puis ils l'ont tiré.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, Presley Leslie, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Wow.
Mais c'est bon, on a fast forward. When you got here, quelle école secondaire t'es allé? What high school?
LaSalle.
LaSalle High?
Yeah, I did all
English school?
all my high school, in LaSalle High, basically, except for my final year, which I did in LaSalle Catholic, because LaSalle High was a crazy place to try to learn in, right? Like,
Straight up.
yeah, like it was great for music and other things, but when it came to learning, it was rowdy. You know, it was hard to really concentrate there. So for my graduating year, I said, let me go to the Catholic. But the other 4 years I did at the Protestant. And in those years, so if you got kicked out of Westmount or Northmount or any of these schools, I don't know if Northmount's still open today, but that was the main school in Côte-de-Neige back then. So if you got kicked out of any of these schools, LaSalle would take you. So we had, you know, it was like Australia where the British sent their, you know, their worst criminals out. Well, that's what happened. Other schools didn't want them. So, you know, we were a new school. We were looking for students, basically, and we were just taking, you know, everybody in. So it made it an interesting place, but it also made it a little dangerous at times, too. Because you had people from all over, you know, people that sometimes didn't get along on the street that ended up at this school together and, you know, things happened. So, that was the Wild Wild West days for sure. You know, the Wild Wild West was in full effect in that place for sure.
And you graduated. You finished high school?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Then I went on to Dawson from there.
And do you know why they call LaSalle Texas? Is it in your time or is it after your time?
So so originally we made the name OPP famous. So that's what it was originally called. And then the next generation came after, basically. And the same thing that happened in the school happened like on the streets. So guys that didn't feel safe in Côte-de-Neige anymore, or NDG or Bergs, whatever the case, they all came to LaSalle, basically, and then turned LaSalle into a hot spot. Basically, right? So that's why the park was so crazy, because it wasn't really just LaSalle people there, right? It was people from everywhere. It was people from everywhere there. And like there was no limitation to who you could run into or what might happen in terms of the culture. You know, if you were part of the culture, you were going to get to see it all there. It was all going to take place.
And what was the relation with the Anglophones and the Haitians at that time in the 80s? So with the Anglophones in the Haitians, so the easiest way for me to kind of say that is based on jail, to be honest with you, because that's where I saw it, the dynamic the most at play. So in these days, the English Blacks, so the Canadians, the ones that were born here, and the English West Indians, basically they were kind of on one side, and then the Haitians in those days were with the white boys, actually, because of they shared the same language, and also the white boys ran the jail, so there was advantages to being in their company as well, right? So that was the dynamic then. But it's interesting because for me, that dynamic never really mattered, right? Like, I've never had a problem with a Haitian person in my life. Not one. I can't say that about other, you know what I mean, nationalities of people that are out there, right? So for me, it didn't really matter what the dynamic was. If you were cool, you know what I mean? If you treated me with a certain respect, I didn't care if you were African, Haitian, Jamaican, Nova Scotian. I didn't care. I just, you know, I looked at it as you treat me like a person, I treat you like a person, and that's all that mattered. But there was a dynamic that was segregated more than, you know, I love it now. When I go uptown now, you know, I see people from all walks of life and different cultures moving around in Côte-de-Neige and other areas. Not back then. Not back then. Nope.
No, not back then. You had to be even somebody to even really feel comfortable to walk on those streets, period. You come out at Plamondon Metro, okay, and you don't got no support system in play, it's a problem.
You walk on the
It was always Filipino even back then, or?
Now
it's the flip.
Yeah, there was a lot, but you know them, they're quiet, right? They don't really stand out. You really don't.
But they got machetes, those guys.
But but they do have numbers. You're right. They were there. Also, the Orthodox Jews were there as well, right? I think they're still. Yeah, I think they're still there. They're still uptown, but everything is much more multicultural now, right? And the element of scary is not the same as it used to been back then. A lot of people are at home on the internet and stuff now. Back then, everybody was outside.
Everybody was outside.
Everybody was outside.
Yeah.
Like you staying in the house wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Even if you had drama or beef out on the street,
You had to be on the street.
you had to be on the street because there was nothing going on in the house.
Yeah.
Right? So it's different now. People can find a lot of things to
Yeah,
do.
because everybody was outside, and nowadays, our parents used to scream at us to come back in the house.
You know what I'm
Now
saying?
they're screaming at them to go outside. Like, you
Go
go
make some
outside, stop.
sports.
Yeah.
No, you got to literally take the devices from them, you know, to get them outside today. So the world has changed dramatically.
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
But I like the way the cities come together because, like I said, I was never really, really cool with that. I don't mess with him because he's this, or I don't that because of that, and so on and so forth, right? So I'm glad to see that the city's becoming more unified.
Et puis toi, c'est avant les couleurs, before colors came into play.
Yeah.
In your time, there was no colors then. There was no Crips and Bloods.
No. There was nothing like that. There was bikers and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But no, there was no Crips and Bloods. There was really no black gangs like that. People.
Have you heard of the West Island Troopers?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I'm from the West Side, so big up.
Yeah.
I say the old schools. That's back then. Yeah, exactly.
I ran into a member of West Island Troopers. I forget his name. He was one of the main dudes. I ran into him in New York, actually. And it's funny because we're both in line up for the tunnel to go see Biz Markie. But, like I'm in a different city and I'm looking at him and I'm going, I think his name was Enoch, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, I know that's Enoch. Like, but I'm in New York. Like, am I getting it twisted?
Roi Enoch?
I can't remember his name exactly.
He's not from the West, though. He's from the
South. But I know the West Island Troopers for sure. And the guy that I was talking about, he was literally in line. My girl went up and asked him, "Are you from Montreal? Because you look mad familiar." And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "I knew it was him. So that was crazy. That's probably the last time I saw a West Island Trooper was them. But was very familiar with them.
Yeah.
They were holding it down for the West Island for sure, 100.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about like late 80s.
C'est fou, ça.
I have an older sister, so she used to tell me. That's how I know the name from her.
Okay.
Because it was before my time as well.
No, that's definitely my generation.
Yeah.
West Island Troopers, MCJ and Cool G, like you mentioned, Shades of Culture.
Yeah.
Or the other guys there with Ziggy and DJ Smokey and Sport D. New Concept. That was another group that was out making waves in those days.
Shout out Overproof.
Absolutely.
2 L's up, my brothers.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know about the low life.
Of course. Absolutely. Those were good days. It was inspirational.
So now let's get to it now. Parce que
the meat and potatoes.
Je vais le dire en français and I'm going to say it in English. Parce que lui, tu vois, il parlait de Wallet Park Posse, OK? OPP. Puis quand Naughty by Nature sont sortis, lui a claim...
T'arrives tout de suite.
Lui a claim...
T'arrives live directement avec
que
celui-là.
Naughty a la bite.
Stole the name.
They stole the name.
So we want to document that part.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the first time you're going to say it on the podcast?
Pretty much. So I've talked about it a little bit on social media.
Yeah.
Right? But I've never really sat down and done a real interview on it. So
you still feel this way. You still believe.
Yeah, so here's the thing now. So you got to understand, before Naughty by Nature came out, okay, I was in New York like every week doing shit I wasn't supposed to be doing, okay? So I was doing illegal shit in New York.
Yeah, because I know you did time in the States, but
so I was down there. So on one of those trips, I said, okay, I got the team together and I said, look, let's hit up like Broadway, because like a lot of the main record companies at that time were on Broadway in New York, in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So I said, let's make a day of it, basically, and hit up all the record companies on Broadway. Well, Tommy Boy is one of the companies that's on Broadway. So that's one of the companies that got the OPP demo tape, basically, right? So we do our day down there. We drop off all these tapes and so on and so forth. And about, I don't know if it was 9 months later, something like that, somebody's screaming something to me about, yo, somebody's using your hook. They're talking about The person at first thought that they were talking about LaSalle or thought something was going on. They didn't really realize what was going on, but they knew that they were hearing OPP, you know, with this, you down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. So they knew that they were hearing that. Well, it didn't take me, you know, too long to figure out which had actually happened. So the hook on that song was very similar to a hook that we had on that cassette.
Demo that you were dropping.
Yes, because that was the name of our group.
And they were on Tommy Boy?
They were on Tommy Boy at the time. And like I said, that was the name of our group, right? So we had a very, very similar hook.
Yeah, we need to
that hook. Now here's the thing.
Yeah, we
later on.
Do you remember the hook? Do you remember your hook?
Oh yes, it's the only thing that's different. It's pretty much exactly the same except for the ending where it goes, who's down with OPP, every last lady, right? That last line was
because they say you down with OPP, yeah, you know me, something like that.
Yeah, so we did all of that, all of the hook, except for that last part.
The last part, okay.
Straight up.
Yeah, except for that last part, every last lady, the part they do at the end, right? Yeah. So as soon as we heard that, right away, we knew because we were just there months before,
9
right?
months
It didn't take long. And the thing was that there was quite a few people in Montreal who had heard that track. So it's not like I had the track tucked away or it was hidden or somewhere private. No, the song was out.
And people were saying, yo, we know.
Yeah, they knew right away. They knew right away. So every time Naughty by Nature came to Montreal for the first little bit, their first 3 show appearances that they did in Montreal, they always got harassed by the media.
Real?
Always they got harassed because there was too many people that knew the coincidence.
And did
you know what I mean? Like, and the fact that we went to the record label. Now, my cousin actually ended up doing some stuff with Dipset. And while he was involved in Dipset, he ran into Tretch. Basically, at a restaurant one day. And these 2 guys, they had a sit down, basically, right? So my cousin brought it up. He said, look, I don't know what's going on with y'all, but I know my cousin wrote that hook that you guys did for that song. I know my cousin did that hook. There's lots of people that heard that before you guys ever put it out. So it's like, where we stand, you guys stole that shit. And this is what Tretch said in response. He said, look, our song was originally called OPM. Wasn't called OPP. Okay? OPM stood for other people's money. Okay? That's how the song was originally set up, as OPM. They had a different hook, and it was about this OPM concept. Queen Latifah was the one who said, no, it can't just be about money. We gotta make it more universal. Basically, and then they realized they had our demo. Tretch said, this is according to my cousin, Tretch said that he wasn't really with it, but Latifah was forcing it because the song needed to be more universal. It couldn't have just been about money. So they went along for the ride, and it ended up being their biggest hit from their career. Yeah, absolutely.
But
it's the biggest hit.
Queen Latifah had your tape.
Yeah. Because Tommy Boy had our tape 9 months before.
The Flavor Unit and all that. She had pulled on those days, Queen Latifah.
So
she
heard it. And she influenced Naughty by Nature.
And here's the part that's crazy. That from what I was told, that she liked the tape. But because we were Canadians, she didn't know what to do with it.
Oh, wow.
Because in those days, it was unheard of that a Canadian rapper could come in and actually
just kill it,
and kill it
Man,
amongst
we
Americans.
only had Maestro Fresh West.
We only had Maestro
Fresh West. He made noise. He
went down with Showbiz and AG later, but still, even after he did that,
nothing happened.
There was still this, because you got to remember, New York was so cocky, right?
New York
that they would shit on the other states.
Even the South. Even the South.
Yeah, they didn't just do it to us in Canada, which it felt like at the time. But they did it to the whole
United States. LA had to shoot their way into the game.
Yeah.
Because New York didn't want to give them no room.
Exactly.
Right? Basically. So we were in the same predicament, same situation that a lot of these other states were in. So they didn't know what to do with it. She was like, yeah, this tape is really good, but Canadians? Like, I don't know how this is going to fly. And then, you know, from there, she was exposed to the music and they had it. And they took it and they used it to do, you know, what they felt they wanted to do with it, basically.
And you never like follow procedure with that. You never try to reach them.
No, because
what happened go back to Tommy, you know, Tommy Records and just make some noise.
What happened was, so we did. So I hit up DJ Choice and I was like, listen, we need to do something about this. The problem was, in those days, you know, we're younger, money's hard to come by, and we needed an international lawyer that was able to do business in both countries, right? And that was even more expensive than getting somebody to just handle it from here. So it was so costly that we didn't end up touching it because, like I said, we needed a lawyer that could handle business on both sides, an international lawyer. And yeah, that was costing more money that we had available at the time. So nope, they ended up getting away with it to an extent. Because whenever I get the opportunity, I'd be calling them out. You know, I'd be letting the world know what's really good. You know what I mean? Because where Montreal's concerned, they don't give us our props. You know, and when we contribute to stuff like that, whether they stole it or not, it was still a Montreal guy that was involved in it. You know what I mean? It was still somebody from Montreal that was involved in that. So for me, you know, I want some props over here. I want some, you know, I'm never going to get that recognition because, you know, the way that they did it. But people in the streets know, you know, there's a lot of people from Montreal from that time that know what happened. Basic. I would boycott their concerts when they would come to town, you know, just out of friggin' anger and frustration for the situation because I was upset. But I couldn't do anything about it.
That's an interesting story. I didn't know all the details. So now that you say it like that, now yeah.
C'est crédible.
Yeah. Ça fait du sens. Ça a du sens parce qu'au début j'étais quand même comme il dit ça.
Out of nowhere, but they had the tape. So of course some entering conversation happened.
Because it's true. The way I heard it, like people weren't sure. I didn't hear the details like you're saying. And now that's why I'm like, yo, he thinks Naughty bit him. So I didn't believe.
Rapolitik.
But now that you say it like that, bro.
Très crédible.
Okay, now it makes sense. The story makes sense now.
Yeah, it's a bit. And the thing is, I still have a picture of that tape cover. I don't actually have the cassette because, you know, tapes would pop back then, right? Yeah. Tape would last like 6 months and then that shit was done, right? But I still have a picture of the tape cover that we sent out to everybody when we did that trip to New York and, you know, we went and passed all those CDs out.
And so how did you link up with DJ Choice?
I would say it's probably 1988. We crossed paths because, if I'm not mistaken, because Shades of Culture, because they were friends with him first.
He's a big time DJ. Je pense qu'il a gagné des compétitions. He won DMC battles or something.
Well, he trained. Here's the thing. So he won local battles, but he trained 8-Track.
Okay, c'est ça.
He's the guy who trained 8-Track how to scratch and how to cut and how to mix. So that was one of 8-Track's first teachers.
Damn,
was DJ Choice, and then he went on to win 2 world mixing champions. Then he came back and he was Kanye West DJ for like 5 years. And yeah.
Kanye West?
Yeah, for 5 years 8-Track was Kanye West.
De quelle année à quelle année?
Yeah, for a minute. He was
from what years?
I'm not sure exactly the years, but when he came back,
where?
The year that K Goon, I'm trying to remember, what's that festival down by the water that K Goon performed at? The year that he was hot. No, not Oceaga.
Metro?
No, there's one more. It's a little bit smaller than that, but 8-Track, you know, he came back to Montreal. He was there. He's the one who actually got K Goon on that show because K Goon was not scheduled to perform that night.
but 8-Track really messed with that record 100 bands.
Ah ouais.
Right? And yeah, he really messed with that 100 bands record.
Au Parc Jean-Drapeau?
No, it's right on the tip of my tongue too. It's a little bit smaller than those ones, but it's still
in Quebec.
Yeah, it's in Montreal. It's right on the tip of my tongue. It'll probably come back to me.
Mural?
And no, it's not. Is it the Mural Fest?
No, you said by the water.
Yes, by the water. It's by the water. And so he was there. He got K-Goon on the show, basically. But while he was there, they talked about, Kanye West DJ and to the people at the concert. But he's done a lot of stuff. So is his brother Dave One. Chromeo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So his brother has done a lot of stuff. He produced a couple of remixes for me. That's the first time I met 8-Track, was when I went to work on the Excalibur remix with his brother. Was called Dave One.
Okay.
In those days. So I go by the house and 8-Track be there for like 5-6 hours. The whole time we're working on our stuff,
he's there.
8-Track have his headphones on and he didn't come up for air. Like this kid would be like 4 or 5, 6 hours just focused in the zone. We couldn't hear what he was doing because he was on the headphones, but he was doing something serious. He was rehearsing for his future. But he was young. He was young. Like we're talking about, he was a teenager. Then I did a couple of shows with him and had him do the intermission for me and stuff like that because I had the connection. At that point. But big up 8-Track, he did a lot of good stuff. And he represented Montreal to the fullest.
Yeah. Et puis c'est là que tu as formé ton groupe Tolérance Zéro. Zero Tolerance.
Yeah.
Comment le nom est arrivé?
So, Zero Tolerance now. So I hook up with Choice. I meet him from Shades of Culture. We immediately bond. Immediately. We know we want to work with him and he wants to work with us. So we started working on the Zero Tolerance project, but it was still called OPP at that time. When we first started the project, it was called OPP.
Yeah, you know me. No.
And then we basically got offered a record deal by Monogram Records that we ended up taking, and that's when we decided to change the name to Zero Tolerance, and that's where Zero Tolerance was born. That's what it started. Where it started.
Toxic? It wasn't on Toxic Records?
No, that was Dubmatic, which came later. Dubmatic is after. That's on Tox.
Okay, so you guys went on Tox. Okay.
No, not at that time. We were on Monogram first, and then what happened was, about maybe, like I just finished recording the last of my vocals. I was waiting for them to mix it because back then everything was on tape.
Yeah.
So mixing took a long time to do. So while they were mixing the product, I ended up going to New York and doing something stupid.
Yeah, you got locked up when the album came out.
Exactly. I got locked up, ended up in Attica.
Okay, you were in Attica?
I was in Attica. I was in Clinton Max where Tupac was.
Okay, you did it real time in the States, like in New York.
Yeah, I was down. Well, they were trying to give me 8 1/3 to 25.
Oh,
right. I got lucky on a technicality and ended up doing. I think it was 3 to 4.5, something like that. 2.5 to 4.5 actually. But I got lucky on a technicality because they were trying to put me away for up to 25 years.
The Canadian coming here trapping and
I had an A2 felony in New York State, which is the second highest felony there is on the food chain. So the only thing higher than the charge that I had was murder in the first degree.
Yeah.
My charge is higher than murder in the second degree.
Oh,
it's higher than manslaughter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's higher than premeditated rape. It's higher than everything except for murder in the first degree. So I was looking at 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah, I was looking at 25 years. And just by the grace of God, I have to say that, a technicality came into play. And they kind of messed up our case because they didn't know how to, we were Canadians, and they didn't know how to process us. So they never gave us a preliminary hearing, which is mandatory in the U.S. If you don't give somebody a preliminary hearing within 72 hours, you're supposed to let them go. right? And then they were supposed to indict us within 6 months. They didn't do that either because they were all confused, about the situation. So kind of got out on a technicality. The guy I was there with, he ratted me out and went home.
Your co-defendant?
No way.
Yeah,
Fucking way.
Yeah, he ratted me out and went home, basically, because his girl was leaving him and he was having a heart attack. I'm like, nigga, man up. Like, this
Man
shit is
up.
crazy.
That's
Like,
for real.
you know what I mean? Like, not only that, we knew about the technicalities in the case at that point,
And
we were going to attack them. Right, that was the thing. We were going to attack them, and
Sue
that was going to get me back to the road. But the thing was, he couldn't wait, basically, and I needed him to do it. So basically, they made a deal with him to get him out because they knew they were in trouble with these things, and then said, "Okay, well, you can take a chance and go for the technicalities, but if you lose, you're looking at 25.
25.
So we're going to offer you 4.5 right now. Take it." And that's what I did. Because that 25 was scary. And those jails ain't nothing to play with down there.
Yeah, Attica, bro. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, no, it ain't nothing.
wow.
Rap music saved my life in those places. Real talk. Rap saved me because
you're alone. You're a Canadian.
You don't know nobody.
That's right. And my co-defendant went home, turned state's evidence and went home.
Yeah.
You know? Turn this crazy
Like
stuff
a
off.
rat.
You know what I mean? So he went home, basically, and then I went to Clinton Max, basically from there.
That's
right?
maximum security.
Yeah, even though I had a minimum. So I was classified because in the States I didn't have a criminal record, so I was a first-time offender in America, right? So I ended up with a minimal classification with that 4.5 years, right? But I never saw a minimum the whole time I was there. And certain places, they'll isolate you because they know that where they have you is above your, I had a minimum classification. They got me in maxes. So when I'm in Clinton Max, they got me in AICU. They got me locked down. I'm with the guy who ratted out John Gotti's nephew and shit like that are on lockdown 23 out of 24 because they don't want to let us loose in the jail with all these killers, right? Basically. But then now, when I got to downstate, no, they had a whole different view on that shit. They just threw everybody in one population. Here you go.
No,
I missed Slick Rick by 3 weeks. In downstate, he was there 3 weeks before I got there. That another crazy place. And then I end up in Attica in the end, basically, another madhouse. They bring us in when we're coming in. They're taking 100 guys out for a murder conspiracy. They came in and got these guys in the middle of the night while they were sleeping.
100 guys.
100 guys.
100 guys.
100 of them. And took them in whatever condition they found them. So if you were naked, they took you naked. If you were in a pair of shorts, they took you in a pair of shorts. As we're being driven into the jail, we can see all these guys out in the yard. They took them from the night and left them out in the yard. Okay? All night. These guys are still there waiting to be processed, basically, as we're coming up into Attica. That's how our entry. Those were the beds that we got when we came in. The 100 they took out was the 100 beds that were available for the new guys that were coming in, right? And it's crazy, They got so down there they got the Dominicans, which they call the Germans. And the reason they call them the Germans, because they'll follow their leader like he's Adolf Hitler. Like, all he has to do is say it and it's done. If they say, yo, go murder him now,
they would do it.
There's no question. There's no, are you sure? Or, is it, I don't know if it's the best time. No, it's deal with him right now on the spot. So you got the Dominicans, right, which they call the Germans. Then you got the Latin Kings. Basically. And then you got, then you got the Muslims.
The Muslim Brotherhood.
Basically, that are normally the biggest because there's more blacks normally in there than anybody else, right? So the Muslims are normally the biggest organization. I chose to roll with none of them. I chose to roll with a 8-man organization that I named the Cruddy Niggas. 8 dudes that said, nah, I ain't doing that. Because, the thing is, I'm not Muslim. So I'm not going to fake it.
Like
I watched other people do for the protection.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, because you had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning
to
pray to the east, and there was just certain things that came along with it. I'm not doing that. I'll take my chances out here. So there was guys from New York who were scared. Who went and joined
the Muslim
just because they were scared of what was going to happen if they didn't. Me and 8 other dudes said, "Nah, we ain't doing that. We just gonna, we'll just hang out collectively ourselves, basically." And I went on to name them guys the cruddy niggas because we were the ones that didn't care. Like, we weren't doing it. It just didn't make sense to us. We weren't doing that. We said we'll take the chances, the 8 of us, right?
But they tried to test you guys.
Well, here's the thing. I can't say they ever tried to test us because it's really about how you move, right? In there, I got to be real with you. Like, it's really about how you move. If you're on some fuckboy shit, they're going to deal with you. It's as simple as that. And like I told y'all before, the music saved my life. The rappers are the commodity in jail. That's the entertainment in jail. You understand? Especially in New York. That's the entertainment. So they're not going to really play with the rappers, especially the ones that are good, right? Now, for the first year, I shut up. I didn't even rap. I studied like I was in like, people always say to me, yo, it must have been rough. And I'm like, nah, it was good. Like, what do you mean? Because for me, it was like taking a university course on New York street rap.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me. I was around those people for real.
Yeah.
I was also around a lot of good rappers that gave me a lot of influence and that helped me with certain things and so on. So it felt like I was away at like boot camp would be a better way to say it, right? It didn't feel to me like I was in jail. It didn't make me miss home as bad as I might have, had I not been so immersed into that. Like, I was really involved in the
culture.
Oh, in the ecosystem. And I never lost a battle down there. That's another thing. I ended up small. Well, you got to understand, my battle record is 170 wins out of 173 contests.
Damn.
Okay? I've only lost 3 times to Belly.
Belly from Ottawa?
Yeah, Belly, Kid Twist, and a guy from Montreal, an old school cat by the name of Tape MC. Those are the 3 guys that beat me. And I'll tell you this much: the Belly and the Kid Twist, very controversial situations.
Belly was that good?
Well, what I mean by controversial is,
you think you won?
Well, I just don't think I had the proper chance to win. So, like, when I ran into Belly at the Gin battle, so you remember Gin from 106 Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he came to Ottawa. And so a promoter brought him down and said, okay, whoever wants to battle him, come out and you can battle him. So what they did was they made the Ottawa guys battle amongst themselves first. And then the winner got to go against Gin. Basically, right? So they put me against Belly first. We're the first ones up. Okay? We're the very first group to go up. Now, Belly brought his whole high school with him. The first 5 rows is all his people.
Yeah. It's
right?
his hometown. Yeah.
And I've been in a lot of battles before, so I'm reading the room. You know what I mean? This guy looks over at me and, he does one of those things, where you put the hand across the throat like you're dead.
You're dead.
And then he looks at the crowd, right? Like a WWE wrestler.
Yeah, they all go crazy.
And they all go crazy. So at that point, I knew right away.
He won
this
the
guy,
crowd.
yeah, he brought the crowd with him. I knew that from then, right? So I'm like, okay, I gotta come with something that's absolutely undeniable because they're gonna do me dirty here, basically, right? I don't have my people up in there like that. Those kind of numbers. Ottawa's not my city, right? So basically, I hit him with this verse called King Batiwash. And it's a problem. It's a problem for anybody. You don't want to be on the other side of King Batiwash. It's a real issue. So I hit him with that, right? And they ended up calling the first round a draw.
Oh.
Okay. So my thing is this now. We were the only one who had a draw round. Okay, the only ones. We had to rap again now, me and him. But everybody else, they only went the one time, right? So they make me and him go again now.
The people that he brought with him, they know he's in trouble. So they're coming out now. They're screaming so loud for him, I can't even hear what he's saying because they're just assuring the win. It didn't matter what he did,
what he's saying,
what he said.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what he did. They were giving. So I said, okay, cool, no problem. I left there pissed. Because, like I said, that's my second loss in like 100. I'm at that point, I'm probably 110 contests in, 120, and that's my second loss. And I don't feel it was a legitimate loss. So now what I do is I start going on radio programs across Ottawa. Say, yo, I ain't tolerating this shit. Bring him out. Let me handle him. Okay.
Oh, calling
Yeah. I'm on 3-4 different radio shows. Basically every week I'm anybody that'll take me. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I got something to say.
Wow.
It's all about Belly. Right? Get him out here. Tell him to call up here. Let's do a freestyle battle right now. Let's go.
He didn't have any deal at that time yet.
No, he didn't have a deal. He just had the money.
Capital Profits.
Yeah, he had Capital Profits, which was funded by his father.
Okay.
Basically at that point. So that's when he was still with Muzari.
Yeah.
Basically
But
before.
who was a street guy? I think his dad was a.
Yeah, his dad's a street guy. That's where the money came from to finance the project, right? So I made so much noise in Ottawa that this guy had to come see me.
Yeah, he came.
He had no choice but to come see me. So he rolls up. We set up a battle at the university, basically, and he rolls up about 6 Escalades. There's got to be at least 40 of them.
Yes, let's go.
Pulling
20
out.
deep.
I got 4 Montreal man with me, okay, and basically he got 50, almost 50 Ottawa men with him, right? So, they pull up, making a scene, doing all kind of shit, Ray, blah, 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 trying to intimidate us and all of that. And, one of my boys has to tell him, yo, don't get it twisted. We're from Montreal, bro. Don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. Don't think because you got us outnumbered here that there's going to be a problem for you if this goes south.
Because you have 4 wolves with you.
Yeah, exactly. I got 4 big dogs that are ready to light this whole thing up.
And
you understand? His guys are ready to stunt and act hard, but they ain't ready to go to the places that my guys are ready to go, right? So that calms them down. That happened in the parking lot. And then, so the messed up thing is my manager at the time was somebody that they knew. He was the only guy I gave a copy of my diss track to that I was going to play at the university radio stove. They went and pushed up on him and got my diss track, took it and sampled it, and had my voice playing in his track at the diss, right?
Yo, he tricks you, man.
Art of War.
I told him like this. I said, you know what? You can do all of that, right? And you can act like you made the gangster move, but the moment that I catch you on a fair playing ground, I'm going to skin you alive. I'm going to ginsu you into a million pieces. You understand? So keep playing. Keep playing around, doing your things that you're doing. But when we catch each other on even ground, I'm going to make you reconsider being a rapper after that's all done. You may decide you want to hang it up because that's the type of impact that I have on people.
When you were back.
Yeah. When I stick my fangs in somebody, no, there's a problem. It's a problem. And I let him know at the radio station, yo, you think it's cool because you got the advantage? Because what they did is they went to the man's shop and told him, look, this guy's not even from Ottawa. Why are you going to back him? He's from Montreal. Not only that, we're about to blow. Come along for the ride with us. And he went for it. He went for it. You know what I mean? Like that hometown sympathy bullshit. He went for it. Basically gave up my music and gave Belly the advantage. And the joke is, even with the advantage, he barely won. Even with that big advantage. So I had a part of my song where I was saying Belly's #1 on my hit list. He took that and turned it into Belly's #1, Belly's #1 with my voice. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's obviously not a good look. But even with all that advantage, he had a hard time dealing with me. It was no landslide. I can tell you that for sure. I was still on his heels, even with that advantage. And then from there, I was like, no, the Belly Crusade. I'm going everywhere, anywhere. and just annihilating this guy. I was living in the south part of Ottawa, which is his turf. So I'm going around all his territory because I had this mentality. I'm from Montreal. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. You're from Ottawa. And now Ottawa has immersed over time and, it's become more like a bigger city. But in those days, I wasn't looking at those guys like that.
Non, c'était Toronto. Là.
I wasn't looking at those guys like that. I came up with real street dudes. I have a verse where I say, my high school produced 25 murderers. This is not something that, this is not something that I'm making up or capping or exaggerating. This is for real. Montreal was the Wild West in those days. So for me, Ottawa was a small town.
Maintenant sur Natif TV, Rapolitik Plus.
Tous les univers de Rapolitik dans un seul format, dans une seule émission.
Nous avons des entrevues avec des acteurs clés de la scène.
L'actualité sur notre scène urbaine.
Et des clips de notre playlist. Alors, checkez Rapolitik Plus dès aujourd'hui, disponible en exclusivité sur Natif TV.
Et regardez dans la description les chaînes qui sont pour vous et également disponibles sur l'application Natif TV.
Rapolitik Plus.
Tous les univers de Rapolitik dans un seul format, dans une seule émission. Sur Natif TV.
Straight up! Si vous voulez que votre vidéo passe à la télé, voici votre chance. On a une nouvelle addition dans l'univers Rapolitik qui s'appelle la playlist Rapolitik sur Natif TV. Du lundi au vendredi de 23h à minuit et en rediffusion à 6h du matin. C'est une heure des plus gros clips de la game.
Que vous soyez signé, que vous soyez dépendant, que vous soyez un artiste émergent, vous avez la chance de pouvoir soumettre votre vidéo sur la playlist Rapolitik à notre site web playlist.rapolitik.com
ou .tv.
Et respectez les critères de sélection qui va être indiqué aussi sur le site. Important.
Soumettez votre clip dès aujourd'hui.
I felt even if I was out there dolo by myself, they couldn't do nothing to me. So that's exactly what I did. I went out there trying to hurt him in every way possible. And when I get around now to doing the movie, because the screenplay is being written and worked on, you're gonna see all that in there. The belly stuff will definitely.
Are you doing a screenplay on this?
Oh yeah, because the story of my life is insane.
Because I heard when you got locked up, the album came out, and it was your cousin that was replacing you on the tour?
Yeah, and that was bad.
That was bad?
Yeah, it was bad because here's the thing. My cousin...
Shout out to the cousin, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, he died, right?
Oh,
but my cousin, Charlie, he just didn't look nothing like me, right? And his swag was different, right? So... the record company, they're trying to make their money still.
Yeah, because it's a lot of investment right now.
And they told you about it? Well, you had a call?
Yeah, I knew about it. I knew that they were going to go ahead and drop
Did you regret
the video.
all of this, that, you affect the marketing of the album?
You know what? I regretted it a lot more later. Like when I got with Cash Money Records and I had the chance to go meet Birdman and go to events, like I was invited to the BET Awards. And,
we're going to talk about that after.
And other things. So it hurt me. I felt more later, right? I didn't know.
Because you understood the impact that you had.
But at that time, not so much because I was stupid.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't really understand the full implications of what was really going on. And on top of that, my last 5 trips to the U.S., we snuck in through a farmer's backyard. We didn't even go through the border. So for me, I just always thought that I could get back in.
Because when you were released, you weren't able to, they said you can't come back to our country.
No, they said, so what happened was they said you can't come back until it was, I got out in, it was 94, 93, they said I couldn't come back until 97. But the thing was, immigration said one thing, and parole said another. So parole said 96. Immigration said 97. I had a record deal offered to me from Philadelphia in 96. Okay, I'm thinking I'm in the clear, right? I get on the train. I'm living in Toronto at this point. I get on the train. We're going through Niagara Falls to get into the border. I'm on my way to Philly, where this deal's supposed to be taking place. And
a solo deal.
Yeah, and that's where I find out
you were not that good.
I'm not legally supposed to be even stepping foot in America
basically.
They just sent you back, or they didn't put
They
you?
sent me back, but they held me for 4 days. They sent me to an immigration deportation center like you see in Scarface.
Yeah.
They sent me there, and the thing was, I was really supposed to get time because I was in violation. So when you go to immigration court, right, there's no jury. The judge just, when you have an immigration violation, it's just to go get time.
Yeah.
Right? For the violation. There's no jury. There's no pleading the case. I was lucky because my mom knew I wasn't really trying to do nothing wrong. And she wrote down to the United States, listen, my son didn't know. He has documents that are saying 96. He wasn't doing nothing wrong. He was honest with you guys the whole time about who he was. Because you got to remember, I've been to New York as 100 different people before. I used to go to New York every week. Back in the days when there was no picture on Medicare.
Yeah.
Shit, I was in New York every week as a different person. Steve Smith, Paul Johnson, Rick Duck. Like every week I was somebody else because I was going too much. Right? I couldn't really explain why do I need to be in New York 3 times a week? What for what? Every week. Right? So I had to keep switching, IDs. And this trip to Philly, I didn't do that. I went as myself. So luckily, my mom was able to convince them that, look, he didn't really mean no harm. You made a mistake. And I got out 3 days later. But I was supposed to get at least a year.
For that?
Yeah, 1 to 15 the judge can give out for those violations. So I was supposed to get at least a year. But my mom, got through to them and let them know it was a mistake. But that hurt because that deal in Philly.
Yeah. It was a big deal?
Yeah, because basically it was a situation like with Latifah. I was Canadian. They didn't know how the Americans were going to respond.
So they wanted to meet you.
You know what they did is they said, we're going to put it on this radio show like a rush it or flush it type of vibe and see how the people respond. Basically. So the song was called Mad Live. And basically they rushed the song all week. Nobody knew where I was from. Plus, my vibe is American anyway on music. So you can't really tell so much, right? So, they put it on the Philly radio for that week. They rushed it all week. He said, okay, get this guy down here. So basically, I tried to go through Niagara Falls, and that's when they held me and told me, nope, you ain't coming over today, sir.
And you lost that deal.
Yeah, I lost that deal.
Of course.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It hurts. It hurts because, getting a deal in America.
Not easy. That's why English rappers, you'll try not to get criminal records, man, because you're affecting your future if you want to rap in English and go to the States.
Especially if you have an American style. Like if I was going to give out any guidance or anything like that tonight, it would be that.
Yeah.
Because I see so many guys that are dope. But because they've been arrested,
ils peuvent pas aller aux States. Et c'est là qu'il faut qu'ils puissent faire le business, business touch. Contrairement à ceux qui sont français, they can go to France. They don't have to deal with the
Europe
American
is okay.
border.
Well, now UK rap is bumping, so you guys could go to the UK.
Yeah. But the money is in America, and it's so close for us. You know what I mean? I gotta go over the water on a plane. This is so
close. 8 hours.
What from New York? How far are we from here? 45 minutes. No, but I'm talking about New York State.
Yeah.
What are we? 45 minutes from New York State? Like it's maybe not even an hour, right? So not being able to go to New York hurt a lot, or to go to America hurt a lot later. In the beginning, I was around a bunch of people that were just like me. So it was like, well, this is what it's like. We all got criminal records. We all done shit, so it didn't seem abnormal, at that time. But the more I got into business.
T'as compris qu'est-ce que t'as manqué.
Right. The more I got into business, though, I realized that, this is not a good look. So my advice to everybody listening to this, if you rap, America is where it's at. Money can be made there. Don't mess up your chances to get over the border, especially now with Donald Trump, in power and the things he's doing. Because he's got it set up right now at the border where you could be completely legal. And if they don't like the look of you, they can still tell you, nope, you're not coming over. Just off a gut instinct. They have nothing to prove it. Right? They got nothing because on paper, you're clean as a whistle. right? But there's just something about you that's rubbing the guy the wrong way, and he ain't let you over. That's the power that Trump has given, the borders. And it's also turned into a money thing, because now if you want to guarantee that you can be present in the States, now you have to go get a work visa and spend the money on the work visa to guarantee. So if you have a contract with somebody in the States and you need to be able to guarantee that you're going to be there, well, in the past, I know a lot of people just say, well, I'm going shopping, I'm going for vacation, right? They don't get into the nitty gritty. Well, now you don't have a choice because you might not make it at all, because there's no guarantees that you're going to make it without a work visa now if you're there for business. The pleasure thing is no longer guaranteed. Trump is, as much as his problems are with Mexico, the majority of them, we're getting the bad end of that.
Canada.
Yeah, we're getting the bad end of that, because coming in and out and all of that is crazier than it's ever been.
No.
Yeah, they take your picture now, and it's deep. But you got to smile. When you cross the border, crack jokes, laugh at his jokes, smile.
Le moment où tu as plus de chance, when it's holidays, you have more chance.
Yes.
Because they're going to say, okay, why you here? Okay, it's Thanksgiving, I'm going to see my grandma's. They're going to okay. But if it's like a regular weekend, that's going to be tougher.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a lot of traffic on the holidays too, right? So they got a lot of people to process and get over. But I miss America. I gotta be real with you. I miss America.
You haven't been back in a while.
No, I haven't gone back since 95.
Oh, wow.
Was the last time.
In the States?
I haven't been back since. And the last time that I went back, I was going back illegally. I was literally sneaking through a farmer's backyard with hundreds of thousands of dollars to go make purchases in New York, and then making those purchases and coming back with that product and then bringing it back through the farmer's backyard, right? Like, just crazy shit. There'd be droughts up here for shit, but we never had a drought because we were going to New York to go get what we needed, right? And pay New York prices, like shit that was costing me like $500 or yeah, just the easy way to break it down. $500 down there would be costing like $3,000 up here. Basically like that. Shit that was $25,000 up here, down there was like 12, 10, shit like that. So, it was crazy. It was crazy.
So you were making your money back then?
Making my money, but I was too young to really know
what to do with it.
I buy a lot of clothes. Like every week I was in New York.
Exactly.
It's jewelry and clothes. Like you'd always see me come back. I'd have a new rope chain. I'd have a bunch of rings that had my name across them. Like, shit like that. I was known for that because I couldn't resist it. There's stores everywhere and you can bargain with them in New York. Like you don't have to pay the price that's indicated on the tag.
Yeah.
You can literally buy them. So if I buy that and that and that, what you gonna do for me? Make it interesting. You can talk to them like that in New York. But up here, no, you're paying everything right to the tax. You know what I mean? So I love New York. I miss it.
But what happened with the zero tolerance tour with the cousin and the outcome of all of this?
So what happens is this. So I get arrested, like I say, after the first year. So we have a 6-year deal for zero tolerance. Okay. After 1 year, I'm arrested. They finish the album and try to make it work for over the second year.
But all your track was already recorded?
Yes, I just finished recording.
At least.
Yeah, I just finished recording my last vocals, basically, and they were going into mixing mode at that point, right? And then I went to New York. It was May 23rd. I was May 21st. I should have been back by the 23rd, and
it's on your way back, you got arrested at the border itself.
Yeah, because so what happened was the guy that I was with, right?
The rat.
Yeah, the rat. Again, another problem with his girl.
To the rat after?
Yeah, I seen him once. Just looking at me, put the fear of God into him. I didn't even have to because at one point I was like really upset. I'm like, if I catch that dude, it's problems.
He's probably
right. But then when I came back, I realized that this guy took 5 years on parole here and had all kind of dealings with the government that he had to do to make that deal happen for him to get out. Right? So for me, when I came back, I had no parole. I had nothing. I was free. So for me, I felt like I got the better end of the stick, basically, because I'm back now. As I'm driving by and looking at him downtown, right? I'm like, yo, you checking in with your PO, you know, every week, and I don't have to do, you know, any of that. And like I say, he saw me that one time. The fear of God came into him. Oh my God, Chuck's out. Oh my gosh, right? And that was enough for me to know that he had to look. You know, looking over his shoulder. You know, that was enough for me to say, oh, and then I'll you're gonna like this now. So the girl now that he did all this crazy shit for, he ratted me out for, because his girlfriend was leaving him after like 5 months. She's like, I can't deal with this shit no more, right? She had met another guy and she was moving on. So this guy's like, I gotta get out of jail immediately. I
need to get my girl back.
I'm gonna lose my girl, right? So for whatever reason, I had his number. He used to live with her, right, before. But when he got back, she left him anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So they never got back together, but I still had her number.
And what you did with the...
Oh, gosh, you know the rest of the story.
Oh, my God,
You know the rest of the story, B.
Nigga.
That was for me. That was the sweetest impression. And you know the crazy shit about that? That this girl wasn't even into black guys. Right? Like she didn't mess with black guys at all. This was a rock chick. She was a bad bitch though.
Yeah.
But she was a rock chick. Oh. And the thing was, she was too bad for him. Like this guy was kind of toe up from the flow up. I don't even know how he got this girl in the first place. Right? So the girl, she was a bad bitch. I'm looking at her and go, okay. He showed me pictures and all that shit when we're inside. So when I got out, I said, oh, I know what's going to make me feel better.
Oh, my God.
I know exactly what's going to make me feel better. And I hit up Shorty and she actually came. I was like, damn, okay.
And she was not even into black guys.
She wasn't even into black guys. She wasn't into black music, black guys, nothing. But she had heard so much about me, you know, the whole time that he was locked up with me for that 5 months. She knew that I had to do the full prison time. He had gotten out, right? So I think
she had more respect for you.
Yeah,
than him.
and I think she was looking for an alpha male at that point. If you really want to be real, because I can't see any reason other than that why she hooked up with me.
Yeah,
that she was looking for an alpha.
She loved bad boys.
Yeah, so that for me was the sweetest taboo. I felt vindicated after that and just left.
You had your revenge. Don't trust all that.
Yes, I did. So zero tolerance now, just to conclude that for you real quick. So year 2, they're trying to do it without me. Okay.
But you were already out.
Well, no, here's the thing. So this is while I'm still inside. They're trying to do it without me, right? So the second year. So because I was
year 2
because I'm gone for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
I got hit with 4.5 years, but I got out after 2 on good behavior.
Okay.
Right? So I come out. We're still all locked in the deal, but nothing's happening at this point. But the thing is that Choice had been working with Dubmatic basically for the last 6 months previous. Now, he was telling me this on the phone, but it's not like I got to hear any music or anything, so I didn't really know what was going on until I came back. So he's like, look, Chuck, we're locked up in this zero tolerance deal, right? Doesn't look like we're going to do anything. It looks like we're going to be stuck here. I want to go with Dubmatic, he says to me, right? He says, let me buy my way out of this. Okay? That's what he did. He bought himself out of the Monogram contract because we still had another 3.5 years
to do
on that contract. So he went to the record company owner, to the president, Tony Green, and said, look, I want to get out of this deal, but I'm willing to pay. Right? So they came to an agreement. He paid and he got out. But before he left, he said, look, I'm not leaving you. He's like, look, this French stuff is going to pop. He's like, it's going to happen. These guys that I'm rapping with, Jerome and Usman, they're really good at what they do. And what we're working on is going to be some revolutionary shit. It's going to pop.
That's insane.
Yeah, so he goes.
That's some Rapolitik shit.
Yeah.
That's some fucking shit.
So he goes to me, he goes, just wait till the timing is right, basically, and then we're going to bring you over. I'll get you over there
after. So I gave him the room to go do with his thing. And at this point, I'd gone back to Toronto.
Yeah.
Basically now, right? And so I'm out the mix a little bit in terms of wait. I'm waiting for that call. And then they, like I'd mentioned to you in a previous conversation, Jody Rester was originally the ones that was there. They had some issues with Jody, right? They had, I would say they had a disagreement, them guys. And they were looking to replace Jody. And so the first chance, that was Choice's chance. Now it's time to get Chuck. Because the work Jody did was amazing. They knew they were going to have to bring in somebody heavy to compare. Because Jody had already laid all her vocals. She had already written all the stuff. They had a disagreement on the Backstreet Boys tour. Dubmatic was on tour with Backstreet Boys. There was a disagreement that took place on the road. Jody was sent home. And then when Dubmatic came back to Montreal, they removed all her vocals from Le Force de la Comprendre.
C'est Jody Rester.
Yeah, Jody Rester had her vocals there first.
C'est une belle histoire.
Yeah, and I was surprised that they did it because it was high quality work.
Yeah, she was
right.
Great.
Like the work that she did on that album was it was like gorgeous. So the fact that over the argument that they had out on the road with the Backstreet Boys tour, that they decided to get rid of her altogether.
But the album was not out yet.
No, but they had certain songs completed that they used to go out on the road.
Only to perform.
So they may have had a single out at that point, but the album itself,
it was not out yet.
No, was not out. So I get the call from Choice saying, look, we had another R&B singer. Basically, we got rid of them, and we need you to come in immediately and get this thing going, right? So I remember they paid for my driver right away for me to come because they wanted results right away. They weren't waiting. They weren't waiting. So they
know your pen was good.
Right. So they brought me out there. The first thing that I said we need to do is we need to have an audition, okay? Because the talent that was really around at that point wasn't really my top choice for this project. But I'm like, I know there's singers out there that can do it, right? So we had an audition. Barnev came to that audition. Okay? Desi DeLauro came to that audition, if I'm not mistaken. Ricky Peugeot's wife, right? She came to that audition, basically. And a whole bunch of other people. Those were the two that I selected, basically.
You were the one who selected.
Well, yeah, because the thing with when they brought me in, they hired me to run all the R&B stuff. So I had say on everything that had to do with R&B. Now, obviously, Choice was the producer. He could put his 2 cents in at any time. But when it came to the R&B aspect of those projects, no, everything was my decision. So from how those songs were tracked, recorded, layered, the way the mixes were done, like anything that had to do with the R&B section of those songs, basically had my input on it. And if it wasn't me, it was Choice, basically. But Choice was the guy who put me in that position to do that job. So I worked with Desi and Barnev, basically, and we got those hooks together relatively quickly. And, they went in and they replaced Jody on it and they put their parts there. And then I'm gone back to Toronto again. So I get the call from Choice. Now I'm in Toronto. I'm like, yo, what's good, B? He's like, did you hear? I'm like, no, what's good? He's like, well, Dubmatic just went gold. I said, for real?
Yeah, what's my check, bro?
I'm like, for real? For real? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to need your address for checks. Because at this point, he didn't know where I was.
Yeah.
Because I was in Ontario doing all kind of shit. So he didn't know exactly where I was. Right? So he's like, yeah, we go need your address.
Because there's some money for you.
Exactly. So
but you didn't know what to expect.
No, had no idea what to expect with that. And then even when he told me the track went gold, right? I'm like, okay, cool. Like I heard him. But I guess I really didn't hear him. I don't know, because my first reaction was like, yeah, okay, that's cute.
That's
what I mean? It was.
But what's gold and money language?
But when he called me back
I don't know the exact amount of time, but it wasn't too much longer. He called me back and he's like, yo, the album just went platinum.
Now you say, okay,
So now he got my attention.
Yeah.
Now I got to come back to Montreal to see what's going on.
So what platinum means, meaning my bank account?
Well, for me, I didn't have the largest percentages, but here's the thing, because there was a lot of people involved in those projects, right? But hit records make hit record money. And not only that, the longevity. Like, so I've been getting royalties for Dubmatic since 96 and still getting them to this day.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Get your paper rights,
still
man.
getting them to this day.
Get
Let's
your
go.
paper rights, man.
You know?
Mais je suis content d'entendre ça parce que all the zero tolerance story that I heard, pour moi, j'étais un peu triste parce que I'm like, you know what? DJ Choice made his way and he made it happen, but we never knew that you were also part of the Dubmatic era qui fait en sorte que you still, were part of a success story. That's something really dope.
Because he felt that
shout
he
out
always...
to DJ Choice, man. Fuck.
Oh, big shout out to DJ Choice. What are we talking about here, man? That's the big homie.
That's some real nigga shit.
You know, got nothing but respect and love for him. Without him, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. So, as much as sometimes we think we're big shots on our own, you always need someone.
Yeah.
Right? And he believed in me, so he looked out for me. Basically, right? And that was really important what he did for me at that particular point in time, because it really gave me the opportunity to show what I could do on a larger stage, on a bigger platform. Like locally, everybody knew what my skill set was. But on a larger platform, like to the public, to the masses, that gave me an opportunity to show what I could do. And I know Choice already. He's, when it comes to production, he's the evil genius. He's the mad scientist, right? Like, and he lives in the studio. He's the guy that taught A-Track his work ethic, right? He lives in the studio day and night, right? So you get around somebody like that, it's only going to make you that much better.
So now, before we end this, I want to know the story with... Yeah, I want to know the story with Cash Money. Because you were the Cash Money representative in Canada?
Yeah, so it starts in 2016. So present day, okay, before I go to 2016, in 2026, I am the president of business operations for Cash Money North and the EA Talent Management Agency. And EA Talent Management is basically the North American scouting machine for Cash Money Records. So I run both of those companies in the North, basically, and pretty much have carte blanche to do what I want to do out here, right? Which took me like 9 years to get there. I started in 2016.
Straight up.
When I originally met them, right? So,
but you never went to the States because you couldn't. So how did you meet them?
No. So what happens is my manager at the time in 2016, he gets wind that Cash Money A&Rs are doing an audition, and in Toronto. So he basically approached the promoter that was doing it and said, look, my man's not from Toronto, but he's really good. You think that you could, give him a slot on your showcase? So the promoter was like, okay, well, I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes either. Send me over his material and I'll let you know what I could do from there, right? So my road manager sent the stuff over. The guy loved it and said, okay, yeah, no, I have no problem putting him on. Right, so I got added, which was cool because I got added to that show as a special guest. Even though I was auditioning, I was the only one that had a special guest slot, which made it more look like I was part of the show than auditioning for the show, which I felt was a good look, right? So I basically go to this audition. We rehearsed like mad for that. Like we rehearsed 4 months in advance. We were putting in like 3 days a week, like 5 hours every day we did it. So we put in about 15 hours a week, basically for almost 5 months to get prepared for that show. Okay. We go down there and at first I don't think anything happened. You know, I was upset actually in the beginning because I'm like, shit, like they just shook my hand and said, thanks for coming out. And I'm like, shit, you're not bringing me back. You're not inviting me to meet you somewhere to have a conversation. Like, you weren't impressed by what you just saw. Like, what the heck?
The fuck?
5 months of rehearsal. I'm like just not in a good place, right? Coming out of that showcase, right? And I come back to Montreal. I'm still not in a good mood. For the whole week has gone by, I'm not in a good mood. And then I look at my DMs, and it's one of the Cash Money guys, basically. And he's like, yo, it's such and such from Cash Money. Remember we met at the thing? Yo, send me some more music. I mess with your stuff. Send me some more music. So I sent him a whole bunch of music over, whole bunch of music. And from there, he was like, look, you got mad skills, but on a business level, we need to get some development done. You should come and do some development work with us. So we made the business arrangements to basically get that done. So I started there as an artist. For first 6 months, I was an artist there, doing development work with Cash Money Records. As they got to know me, and they realized my track record and things that I had done,
the experience,
right? They're like, no, if you want a job, it's yours, basically, right? So for me, it seemed like the right move.
Yeah, transition.
Yeah, it seemed like the right move at the time. And I said, yeah, you know what? Let me give this a try. Now, I thought I was going to be given a job as an A&R, right? To be honest with you, right? No, I had to start at the bottom as a talent scout, which then, again, I was upset about. But I'm like, okay, let me just go through it. And it's a good thing that I did, because that's where I learned everything about the company. Basically was through the talent scouting aspect of it. So I started off as a talent scout. Then I got promoted to business executive. Then I got promoted to A&R. Then I got promoted to vice president. And then I got promoted to president about 4 or 5 months ago. So I'm sitting right now exactly where I want to be, because this puts me in a position where I can do a lot more for Canada. You know, we got a lot of cool stuff that we're looking to do, you know, coming up this year and next year.
Yeah, because they didn't do artists. They have nobody. I mean, NBA Youngboy, I don't think he's Cash Money.
Yeah,
but
he is
Cash Money? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's probably the number one artist right now.
He is. And so here's the thing.
Rapper.
Cash Money's at a point where they could just go into legacy mode if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Really, they don't have to make any new records.
Right.
They have so many hits. Like in the Hit Factory, Birdman has a room about the size of this. Okay, it's where the drinks are and stuff when you go into the Hit Factory, and he has so many plaques. It looks like the place is covered in wallpaper. Sorry, but it's gold and platinum plaques. The whole room, it's covered in plaques like wallpaper. So you know. So it's a legacy thing. It could have very easy been a legacy thing.
Yeah.
But he decided, no, let's make another run. We got Young Boy. He's one of the, you know, he's out there. Young Boy just finished a massive stadium tour.
Was he really getting $1 million per show?
Yeah. He's getting real money. He's getting real money. Absolutely. And that's $1 million a show is nothing. I've been involved in deals where we've asked for $2 million a show, $1.5 million a show. So these are just the going rates nowadays. But he was also doing stadiums, right?
Yeah.
So that gives you twice the size of like Bell Center.
Yeah.
It's a lot more money that can be made. And he finished, I think, number 7 in the top touring artists.
Yeah. I think number 7
of last year, right?
Yeah.
So he's doing very, very well. And you know, he's what I call the Cash Money resurgence, so to speak, in terms of the younger, you know, so the kids that are, let's say, 15, 16, right? They may not be as into Wayne and even Drake and Nicki, because those artists are old for them now. They've been in the game like 15 years.
They're 35 and
plus,
up, and they want
you know what I'm saying? So even though they still make good music and some of the younger kids still mess with it,
They're looking for their own.
Yo, Young Boy is the new. I always argue with my kids because I'm like, he has no bars. He's not lyrical. But it's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. He sings his hooks.
Il est pas gentil. He's really violent.
But you feel his pain, like sometimes when he's singing, like it's a vibe.
Yeah.
And you understand that because you're from the era of bars and
absolutely.
punchlines and metaphors. But it's not that anymore, you know?
No, it's about melodies, which make hip hop, I guess, more commercially appeasable. Like so back in the days we were hardcore, you know, like we weren't even trying to do melodies, and if there was, we'd get an R&B singer to come in and do that. We wouldn't even touch that part ourselves, right? But now, because they wanted hip hop to be able to play commercial mainstream, the melodies became very, very, very important. Right? To be able to do that, because the melodies are where the catchy stuff is at.
Yeah.
Basically, right? And if it's catchy, well, then that's what, you know, the music that goes to the masses normally has something really catchy.
Did you see the verses? No Limit, Cash Money?
Yeah, I did. I gotta be real. We lost.
Yeah.
I gotta be real. We lost.
Before the verses, I would have put my money on Cash Money. To me, I was like, Cash Money gonna kill it.
The catalog is big.
But then when you saw it live, No Limit impressed me, man.
I would have too, right? No Limit knew they were the underdog.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with Birdman, you know, from where I'm sitting, it's not like I heard this directly from his lips, but from where I'm sitting, he didn't really care, because he knew what he was going to use that verses to do, which is the tour that No Limit and Cash Money's going on now.
Yeah, okay.
Right? That was the whole purpose. He may not even have taken a bag for that. He might have just did it on the strength of knowing, okay, now we can go tour 50 to 100 cities off of the strength that, you know, a lot of people tuned in for the verses. They got a lot of attention. So let's take that on the road now and make some money. And that's how Bird thinks. He's always thinking about the big picture. The little picture to him is like, yeah, whatever. And for him, the winning or the losing of the verses, that didn't really matter. What mattered to him was that they were there. Basically, right? That's what mattered.
That was out doing a show apparently not too far from the verses.
Well, no, apparemment il était malade. This is what he said. He was sick.
But no, I actually saw an interview with Wayne after the fact, and basically what Wayne said was that, look,
the Bee Gees?
He said no disrespect. He goes, I did not show up to be disrespectful. He goes, but you got to understand, I can do a verses on my own.
Oh, wow.
On my own. Why am I gonna come?
That's not the team.
You understand? Though. Why am I gonna come and give a verse here and a verse there? Because I guess he's looking at it maybe like Juvenile couldn't do that, or you know, some of the other guys maybe they couldn't do that. But he's like, no, I could do a verses on my own, and he's right.
But guess who?
Oh shit!
Who would you put Lil Wayne with?
No, but he's the GOAT of the generation after us, right?
Ouais, mais c'est contre qui tu le mets, Lil Wayne?
Who would I put him against?
Like 50 Cent?
Jay-Z?
Nah, Jay-Z would smoke.
I don't know.
50 would beat him, but I think it would be a good...
50 and Wayne more than Jay-Z. Jay-Z has Beyonce, bro.
T.I.
Yeah, but
Jay-Z would
Jay-Z may have Beyonce, but the thing is that... So here's the thing with New York.
Rick Ross, T.I.
Look at Benny the Butcher, for example, and Conway the Machine and those guys, right? So the big thing with them is that people say they love him in New York, but that's the only place they're played. Jay-Z's kind of like that.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
For real.
That's like
when 50, New York,
that's like when 50 Cent made the comment about Jay-Z's big in New York, but I'm bigger around the world.
That's true.
That's facts.
Right?
Jay-Z World Tour against 50 World Tour, that was not the same.
Exactly. So that's why Wayne has a chance. Because on a masses level,
I get what you're saying.
There's probably more people that know Lil Wayne songs
than Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, because Jay-Z played for an older audience,
of course,
that has grown, and some of them have fallen off.
And it's really niche,
right? Wayne is played more for this generation that's out there now, versus Jay-Z was a rock star 20 years ago, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think Wayne could definitely do verses with Jay-Z. Eminem would be another one.
basically that Wayne could do verses with.
Eminem, Lil Wayne, that would be so...
That would be an insane verses.
So I'm going to point out some stuff in your career. You work with Terror Squad?
Yeah, so I did a project with Rated R, who was a Terror Squad producer at the time. So we did a project called SOF, basically, and unfortunately my manager didn't read the fine print on the contract. So what happened with that was I'm going down the street one day and I'm hearing my beat, and I'm like, they put the song out? And I don't know about this? Like, what's going on? And then as I get closer to the car, I'm literally running now to the car that's parked at a light where that beat is coming from. And then as I get closer, I realize Lil' Kim is rapping on the beat. So he went and sold the beat out because we didn't release it within the first 6 months. And in the small print, it said, if you don't release it after 6 months, the exclusivity dies. And he was able to resell the beat. And Lil' Kim had it as on the first song as on her new album that she put out at that time. Basically, there goes. So that's what messed up that project, the SOF. But we did get all the work done with Rated R. We got the songs completed and all that stuff. We just ran into, a bit of turbulence on the other side.
You met DJ Clark Kent?
Yeah, performed with DJ Clark Kent at NDG Center. A guy from Montreal is cousins with Clark Kent, a DJ from here by the name of Everton Green. So old school DJ from back in the day. Big up Everton Green.
Wait, he's still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive,
okay.
Everton. So it was Everton that got him to come down. Basically, some promoters knew that was his cousin and said, yo, no, you got to get him. So when they brought him, they're like, okay, we need somebody to rap with them, but we got to bring somebody that can really hold their own. Okay, let's get Chuck. So they hooked the two of us up, and we did like a 45-minute to an hour freestyle concert where he's just changing the beats, mixing new beats in, and I'm just freestyling for that whole hour, and everybody's there just jamming along.
What's your link with Dirt Work?
So Dirt Work and I basically spent a lot of time together between, I would say, like 93 to 2000.
Grammy Award winner.
Yes, sir. Big up Dirt Work. I had love for his production from way back. Also, I'm the guy that introduced him and Magnum to each other.
No way.
Yeah, because I was living in Ottawa, and I wanted them both on my mixtape. And they were in Montreal, and I was supplying the lift. So basically, I put them in the same car together, and they came to my house.
Straight up.
Yeah, that's how Dirt Work and Magda met each other. They were supposed to be on my Legacy mixtape Volume 2, so to speak, right? So, but I was getting like beats for days from Dirt Work for like I say, that's 7 years. Basically, he was like the only producer before, let's say, no, because he's After Choice. So After Choice, that was really my go-to guy. I didn't really mess with nobody for a long time besides him. 7-8 years consecutively. We were always together.
Oh, what is the project with GC from NSYNC and Wild Orchid, which is the old group of Fergie? That's
right. So I'm signed to a company called Windmill Records. Bless is on that label. Shades of Culture is on that label. There's a bunch of predominant rappers that are on that label at the time. The two owners of the company, basically, one of them's name was Fritz Mogil. Mm-hmm. So when Dubmatic needed a road manager for the Backstreet Boys, they didn't have one at the time. So they borrowed Fritz from Shades of Culture. He went and acted as their road manager. Well, NSYNC, Britney Spears, and Backstreet Boys were all managed by the same guy at that point. His name is Johnny Wright. He lived in Orlando, Florida. And what happened was the word got back to Johnny Wright about the job that Fritz had done, as a road manager, basically on that tour. And they were looking for a road manager for NSYNC, basically.
So Fritz ended up getting the job. So while he was co-owner of Windmill Records, basically he was in the States on tour, basically with NSYNC. He was their road manager. So when the Wild Orchid project came up,
talk to me.
Yeah, when that project came up, right? Fritz is like, I got the perfect rapper, perfect songwriter for this in Montreal. So my phone rings one day. It's Fritz with JC from NSYNC. He's like, Chuck, talk to JC. He'll tell you a little bit about the project. Jeez. JC's like, okay, I need 8 bars from you. Okay, this is what the song is relatively about. This is what I need you to do. He said, give Fritz your address. When I pass the phone back, I'm going to purelator you over a copy of the music from the States. I'm going to send it to you right away. So basically, like 2 days later, the music came, like he said. Yeah, started getting on that, right away, getting that project done and getting that wrapped up. And that's kind of how I fell into bed with JC from NSYNC and the whole Wild Orchid project.
But you met Fergie?
No, I never met Fergie, because what had happened was, at the time, they were no longer with Fergie.
Oh.
They had been picked up by the label that NSYNC was with.
Okay.
So that's why JC was working on the project for the label. And then, like I say, I got fortunate. My manager is now NSYNC's road manager. So he's trying to, do anything he possibly can for us to help us, move further down the road.
What happened with the Will Smith show? It was De La Soul, Roxanne Shante, and it was a mess. And I think at that time, people were like, hip-hop shows were like a chaos, were not organized, and it was a bad reputation. So what happened at that show?
We opened. We went out there. That was the first show I did with Choice. Okay. That was our first show together, which was a nice way to kick it off with him, was to do Will Smith, right?
Yeah.
So it was at the Palladium in the East End.
Palladium!
Yeah, in the East End, right? So, and it was packed. It was a good night. It was packed. So
almost 1,000 people.
Yeah. It was almost at capacity. And so what happens is we go out first, and I'm pretty sure it's Roxanne Shante who's supposed to come on right after us. And there's some kind of problem with her. I'm not exactly sure if it was her fault or if it was the promoter's fault, but she was in no position to go out there. Right? Like you got an audience out there screaming. I don't even think there's music playing at this point, because
and they waited for hours already.
So they waited for hours just to get us. Okay, just to get us. And then we go perform. That went over well. Everybody's like, great, the night is starting now, right? And then there's another delay. Roxanne Shante cannot go out at that particular point at that time. So they come running to us and say, look, the crowd is getting fickle out there, right? And as you know, they've waited for X amount of period of time, and Roxanne's not ready. Do you guys think you can go back out again?
Oh, that's crazy.
And just keep them, relaxed until we can get Roxanne out there. Get them to calm down, get them back into party mode.
Want me to dance?
Of course, we're looking for more stage time, right? And the guy I was with, my dude, Kid Slick, big shout out to Kid Slick, aka D Trace. He was one of the nastiest beatboxers in the city. So we didn't need no instrumentals. We didn't do nothing. We didn't need none of that. He'd just go out there and let loose on the beatbox, and I would just freestyle. And we did that all the time. That was like a regular day at the office for us. So when we go back out, we bring that element to the play. The crowd's loving it, because we didn't do that in our show. So the crowd's loving it now, the beatbox, this and that. And that basically bought them enough time to at least get to the next performance, right?
Yeah.
So the write-up in the Gazette the next day, it hammered them for their being late. Now, mind you, every performer did perform.
Look good.
But the Gazette bigged us up.
Yeah.
They made us look good, right? Yeah. Basically, but the rest of the show, the show got assaulted by the media. The show was talked about not being ran well, and this and
the
that.
hip hop reputation had a hit.
That's right. But in terms of us, no, it was great. It was great, because in the newspaper article it was saying, the promoters heaved OPP out there again because we were still OPP at this point, right? Said something about sent us out to the wolves, basically, but OPP was able to hold their own, and so on and so forth. But because the crowd was hostile when they sent us back out there, they were not in a good way, right? So we were able to soothe that, buy them time to get Roxanne Shante in order, and then she came out after, right? So we kind of saved their neck a little bit, basically, because the audience was looking for a headliner, like we were local. So they were happy to hear from us because we did a good show, but we weren't the headliners that they were waiting for, right? So then you send us back out again, still not the headliner that they're waiting for, right? So it was a good thing that they sent us back out there. It calmed them down a bit, and it calmed them down a lot, actually, and enabled them to buy the time that they need. So that's kind of what went on there. Bad set times, disorganization in that regard, and so on and so forth. But at least all the artist shows. I will say that everybody that was scheduled to perform on that show, they showed up, and they did eventually perform. It was just way past the regular time.
How did you feel when they approached you for the Racines du Hip Hop? Is it Impulse that they contacted you?
Who did I speak to first? No, I spoke to Flight.
Oh, DJ
so
Flight.
Big up DJ Flight.
DJ Flight. He
Yes,
was
sir.
at my block party this summer.
Yes, sir. So what happened was they were getting Flight as a consultant to kind of make sure the story was right. Right? Because they were getting pieces of information from different places.
Left and right.
So they needed somebody, they had Flight as a consultant to verify information, right? So they brought him all this information, and Flight basically said, yeah, a lot of this stuff is good, but you're missing a key, crucial part to this story. And they're like, what? Who? And they're like, Chuck Ice. You can't tell this story without telling or mentioning Chuck Ice in it. We have to go get him, basically. So that's how I ended up there, because Flight ended up calling me, telling me, look, I spoke to Felix. I let him understand that, you're an important part of the culture at that time. And basically that they need to come in. They need to come and get you for this. So yeah, big up to Flight for sticking his neck out, basically, to let them know the real, because without him, they just would have moved on without me, right? Because they didn't know better, right? At the end of the day, but
because you're way before social media, YouTube, and all that. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I wish that stuff was recorded.
Back then?
Oh my gosh, like the 40 weeks, the 10 weeks winning at Thunderdome. I would have loved that recorded. I slayed 40 rappers over the course of that 10 weeks. I never lost at a Thunderdome rap competition. I won until they closed it down, pretty much every week. Every week. 16 men enter every week, basically, and one man leaves. I was that one man for 10 weeks straight consecutively in a row. Basically, I was that guy. They were getting tired of me, but there was nothing they could do about it.
Wow.
At the end of the day, right? Because I'm showing up to win every time.
You battled Culture.
Yeah.
That one too, you'll say you won that one?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The only three losses that I have are the Belly, Tape, and to Kid Twist. Anybody else that I faced, like Misery, there was a misconception for a minute because me and Misery went at it hard, right? And there was a misconception about
le frère sans pression.
Les gros bagages qu'on dit aujourd'hui, monsieur.
It's funny because in one of my verses I mentioned sans pression. I say something along the lines, if you really think he's better than me, stop beefing, bet a little cheddar with me, because I was willing to put my money where my mouth was, because I know what I do to people.
Yeah.
Right. I have every confidence in my abilities. Right. So I just put that in the rap because at the time it was causing problems for Choice, because Choice was working with a lot of these guys. After Dubmatic blew up, a lot of these guys were looking towards him
for beats,
and
right?
You were fighting them.
Right, and I'm beefing with them, and Choice is my DJ.
Like, damn,
and then they would bring, the talk to Choice. Yo, your boy Chuck. Yo,
I want to work with you. With your boy is wilding,
your
man.
boy Chuck. So, this was the beginning when rap got real for Choice, and in my opinion, it's one of the reasons after Dubmatic he kind of stepped back because things were getting really real. Like. He realized, and me, because I was from the street, I didn't care what the implications, were.
Would bring it.
No, I didn't care what the implications were. I ran with the roughest guys in the city. So what are you gonna do to me? You understand? Like, you can't do nothing to me. I can say what I want, do what I want. I have carte blanche to do whatever, right? At the end of the day, but not everybody had that, and not everybody came up in that.
Yeah.
Right. I came up in that. The people that I was riding with, I have been riding with for years, basically, right? So it was causing Choice problems, on the back end and so on and so forth, and this and that, and but still I had to be me. I couldn't, I couldn't let it go. So at the end of the day, when it was all over, said and done, there was a lot of conflict going on in those moments with different projects and things that were happening in the city. Best way I could say it.
Damn.
Straight up, man. Chuck Ice in the building. Le Patreon va être lit. On l'a fait pas mal en anglais parce qu'il parle pas vraiment français, mesdames et messieurs.
Mais on a vraiment fait
très
l'effort aussi. Puis je donne un shout-out aussi le fait que j'étais à Toronto with the guys. Shout-out AM.
Yes, sir.
Shout-out Red Eyes. Pour ceux qui savent pas ce qui est Red Eyes,
yes,
allez regarder ce qui est Red Eyes.
Big up Birdman every time, all the time.
Shout-out Birdman. Shout-out to John aussi. On a fait le trip.
John Money, let's go. Let's go.
And shout-out to my cousin Roji. We went there. On a été un whole weekend dans le mansion. On a vu plein d'artistes from Ottawa, Toronto, from Montreal.
Yes, sir.
Yo, stood out. Montreal
stole the show that
yo,
night.
C'était comme Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. When they were saying, yo, who's from Montreal? What the fuck?
Yeah, the room was deep.
And they were
in Toronto.
À Toronto, c'était dans une mansion, puis il y avait comme un genre d'audition. Puis il y avait Red Eyes qui était là comme juge. Chuck était en train de host. Yo, that was a great experience, man.
Yeah, and I set all of that up.
And few days.
Yeah, and I think I had 9 days because Red would not confirm his flight because he was having problems confirming the flight. So I only found out 9 days before, okay, Red's coming for real. So I set the club up.
Yeah, we
set
went
the
to a
showcase
club after.
up. Yeah, we had a rich gang party afterwards.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Right?
Comme ça qu'on chill, c'est arrête de niaiser.
Yeah, it was dope. That was. I'm really glad you guys were able to make it out for that weekend.
Yeah, that was nice.
So yeah, it was nice of you to big up all the man them that was there with us. You know, that weekend, John Money, the whole crew. Shammy.
Yeah, Shammy. Shout out to my boy Shammy, man.
Definitely shout out to my man Shammy, one of the most solid dudes in Montreal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the Montreal scene is getting bigger. These names that we're calling, you guys is too as well. What you're doing here with Rapolitik, like Montreal is getting bigger. I'm starting to really see the potential, and that's why I'm spending more and more time in the city these days, because I'm seeing the potential. Like by 2027, 2028,
that's going to be a problem.
Montreal going to be a problem on an international level and on a local level too as well. It's going to be a problem for the rest of the world.
Quand on était dans le mansion, le gars dit, I think I saw you already, Red Eyes. Lui, c'est le bras droit à Birdman. Il dit, I think I saw you. I'm like, where? I think you have a podcast. J'ai montré le podcast. Il dit, with the guy that actually was yelling. Il parlait de toi, petit kid.
Straight up.
Yeah, the clip de ça que Red Eyes.
Viral.
Cash Money a vu. So, Rapolitik International.
Yes, sir. Big up Rapolitik for just making this platform available, to people in the city. It means a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Like real talk. We don't have enough of this. So the fact that you guys are making a stand to make sure that Montreal has a voice, that's very, very important. So now this round of applause is for y'all. Let's
go,
get it.
Man.
Thank you.
Légendaire.
Rapolitik. The finest in the business, you know what I mean? If you're going to do it right, you need to do it with them.
Straight
up. You know what it is. You know what it is.
2026.
So when Cash Money people come, you make them come here.
Absolutely,
Straight
absolutely.
Up. Straight up. So guys, vous savez comment faire à la fin de chaque émission. I'm going to shout out les ministres. Sans vous, il n'y a pas de nous. Merci pour le love. JDMD, DJ Flash, Moodilia, StephMaster, sansfocusfitness.com, entraînement physique en ligne, Mixtown, Bar Lexus, Ton Boy Max, Grégory Verdieu, Fun RH, location de jeux, Gonflables, et le 4 photos, julioBonilla.ca. Gros shout-out.
Shout-out à vous autres, guys.
Vous voyez, moi, je suis à jeun. Yo, je vais le dire, oui, je fais un dry January, fait que c'est de la bière sans alcool. Ouais. J'ai pas mis d'alcool.
Mais fais pas de dry wind January.
Non, mais je chaque jour. I don't blaze every day, but you know, when I film the podcast, oui, j'aime ça râler. Mais au moins, je bois pas. Dry January. Chaque fois, every year, I've been telling KK, let's do dry January.
On a fait déjà,
à chaque année. Il n'y a pas une fois KK a fait un dry January.
Fais dry wind January, on va le faire ensemble. T'arrêtes le weed, j'arrête le...
Non, j'arrête tout. Si tu le fais avec moi, j'arrête tout. J'aime pas râler.
On fait le
So, gros shout out, man. Yo, what's the final word to the people before we leave Chuck Ice?
The final word is that I got love from Montreal. I always will. And I want to see this city do great things. There's so much potential here. There's so much talent here. We just got to align with each other. We got to do it like they do in Toronto. They get down for each other in Toronto, right? So we got to apply some of that here because we got the right people. You know what I mean? We got the right infrastructures. There's been a lot of growth in the last 5 years in the Montreal urban community. So let's come together, guys. That's what I'm talking about. From all walks of life, for all purposes, let's come together and make this cultural movement something that stands out on a world level, you know, so that they can see it across the planet. Know that we have rappers that are coming out and singers and R&B acts and, you know, the whole, anything under the urban umbrella that it can be done right here in Montreal. We have the talent. We know what we're doing. And ultimately, we can compete. That's really what my message is. I want Montreal to rise up. Let's get it. Anybody listening to this, anybody taking this in right now, that's what it is. Get with your neighbor. Do something with your neighbor that's doing the same types of stuff that you are and build with them. Let's make this city stand out, you know, in a way that's just unbelievable. Toronto's had their moment, and I applaud them. They did great work. They've got a lot accomplished. Now it's our time.
That's what's up. Rapolitik. Shout out to all the Scotians out there too. And we are like that.
You heard?